Hi, I'm Rick Rheins, Senior Rabbi at Temple Sinai in Denver, Colorado. This week's Torah portion is Korach from chapter 16 through 18 of the book of Numbers. Korach was from the tribe of the Levites, and yet he was not given a prominent role of leadership. And so he and some of the leaders of the tribe of Reuben began a revolt, starting even a civil war against Moses and Aaron. It was a disastrous confrontation, and it showed how people, even from the same tribe, of the same people, maybe even with the same goals, looking in their own hearts, saying, um, we have a policy, we have a vision, we have a goal, an agenda that will be for the best of all of the people. And they might believe that sincerely in their hearts, or maybe not. Maybe they're just hucksters. Maybe they're just trying to manipulate people. Regardless, at the end of the day, they say, vote for me, because the other person is leading you on a bad path, leading you down a road that's going to be disastrous. And so the Torah shows us that how Moses and Aaron, they also had that kind of criticism. We weren't sure how much Korach was sincere in his criticism of Moses. Certainly Moses and Aaron, like all leaders, would be susceptible to criticism. Not everything was going right. In fact, they had gone to the border of the promised land and they had to be turned back because of the uncertainty of the people. We saw that last week in the Torah portion, Shalach, when the people said, we won't be able to come into this promised land because of the dangers, because of the formidable challenges. And Moses and Aaron had to bring the people back into the wilderness where they would continue for another 38 years. So here we are in the wilderness. The people are getting upset. And of course, there would be those who would then challenge that leadership saying, well, if we're going to be in the wilderness, we might as well go back to Egypt. We might as well go back there because at least there's water and there's food. And yes, we were slaves and it was a terrible condition. But where are we now in the wilderness, right? So you have demagogues, you have people who will maneuver taking advantage of the situation, of the unhappiness, of the polling, and will challenge leadership. And that challenge for leadership against leadership is always important because you want to have different voices. So when Korach and Datan and Abiram, who were the two leaders of Reuben, again, the firstborn tribe, when they challenged Moses and Aaron, they said, they challenged Moses and Aaron. They said, Rav lechem, you're making yourselves too great. You know, you're making yourselves dominant in this people, and we're all holy. Who are you to lord it over us? Rav lechem. Moses and Aaron then turned that right back against Datan and Aviram, and of course against Korach, saying, Rav lechem b'nei Levi. You're making yourselves too great. And so now they're ratcheting up the rhetoric, they're ratcheting up the animus between the two. And indeed, what could be just a political or an ideological differences of opinion has devolved into a civil war. And it hurt the children of Israel terribly. And it's how the Torah is so much a mirror to our human condition, that in even a situation where we're all of this tribe together, the tribe of the Israelites, there still can be voices that can tear us apart. And we have to be concerned and look inward to say, am I one of those voices? Can I offer constructive criticism? Can I offer critiques that are positive and building and not negative and dividing? Korach and Datan and Aviram, that gang that took on Moses and Aaron, they did have legitimate criticism of Moses and Aaron. Fair enough. But it's how they go about it. Now, bringing it back to our days is obvious. In a political season now, we're just in the primaries. In a couple of months, we're going to be having elections. Here in the United States, we are also not only looking for the elections, but we have the concern about the ongoing economy and wars overseas, et cetera. And voices are lining up in their positions to divide and to sometimes to make threats, violent threats even. And so we have to concern ourselves with our personal actions? Am I adding to the rhetoric that is destructive, or am I offering constructive criticism? Am I a part of the solution, or am I a part of the problem? We are just a few weeks away from celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence in America. And we fought for that independence against Great Britain. And not every American wanted to fight against Great Britain. There were many Americans who were quite loyal to the British, and it was American against American frequently, especially along in England, in New England, and in New York. There were frequently families against families, brothers against sisters, and it was a little bit of a civil war, not just a revolution against Great Britain. So as we celebrate this 250th anniversary, it's not just all income free, we're all happy and we're all unified. No, we've never always been unified. There's always been differences of opinion, and that's okay. It's all right to have differences of opinion. It's all right to have different views. That makes a democracy. That makes us rich. But we also have to make sure that at the end of the day, we come together and say, let us celebrate this union, this imperfect union, this precious union of our country, of our people, and let us each individually take responsibility to being a positive voice, to unify, to acknowledge, not to demonize and to dismiss and to belittle those who think differently than we do. Let us find a way of some commonality, common decency, and goodness. Shabbat Shalom.